Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name's Blades, and yes, we're on episode 10, I think we are we? Yeah, start the overall design phase and add Window 3D, because it's the last file we should need. Yeah, it is. Let's get rid of that. That's bothersome. Let's just check a couple of things first of all. Get rid of errors. So master renderer, we haven't got one. Yeah, we haven't got one. So can we not do that, please? It doesn't exist yet. Closed. Yep, that's closed. Fine, that's that out of the way. Yeah, strange thing. And what else did I mess up? Yeah, this VBO thing is just no, it's not needed. So let's get rid of that, and I'm going to put in instead. We need the model view projection details here, and that translates to int MVP location, and yeah, Q matrix 4x4, and that's just going to be MVP. There you go. Oh, we have it. Where did that come from? Don't care. Copy. Hash include. Depends how people use this for where it comes from, so we're including it. There we go. I don't care what it says. It thinks it's got it, but you never know. Right. We have that out of the way. Save that. That's that fixed. Let's go to main. So we are designing. Source. Add. New item. Header file. Yay! Let's do the final file. I think it is anyway. You know me. Nothing is ever certain in my world. What? Really? Where am I? D repos. D repos. Model 3D. Source. Doesn't? Does it? Oh, according to this it does. I've been testing things. My bad. Let's try again. Header file. It's a Window 3D. Told you, things are never straightforward in my world. Even a Window 3D file. Thank you. Yes, we have one now. Isn't that nice? It's a pretty one. Add. New item. It's working out. Oh. Rename it. It's the easiest way to do this one. And that should be our Window 3D. Thank you. At least it knows how to rename that one. For once. Hash include. And we've got Window 3D. There we go. Namespace it. With model. As always. Don't know what I'm going to put there, but it's going to be really messy, this one. I just have that horrible feeling about it. because it's not straightforward one. Do a copy and paste here. And a save all. Right. Here we go. We're going to need a class. That might help, yeah. And it's going to be window 3D. Oh, let's pop that one in. And this is where it starts getting awkward, because we have to try and force Microsoft Visual Studio to do something that Qt takes as granted, which is QObject. Hash include. And there's big reasons for it. QObject is the heart and soul of Qt. It's everything there is about Qt. And I'll show you why. Because Qt gives you one of the most amazing things ever. This. It's a macro. And there you go. If you can read some of that here, read it on your own screen. But it's massive. It's meta-object data and transferring of information between QObjects, which means that this allows Qt to communicate between the functions that you write. And you can control that. And you can do a lot of things with that. And in the manual, there is a lot of information on QObject, the macro. There is also a full page on QObject, the function. Don't get the two mixed up, but they come together and they are entwined together. They are as one. Right, my window 3D. We are going to need some OpenGL. So window 3D, let's give it some OpenGL. And luckily, Qt gives it us in the form of Q open GL window. Bit like that. So we'll have that as public. We're going to inherit from it Q open GL window. And that is also going to bring along with it our functions. And our functions are going to be hash include. Oh god, what are the OpenGL functions around here? Don't know. Yeah, I'm going to bring them in anyway. Don't know, so I'll just take whatever the basic ones are. Q open GL functions. That one. That'll do. That'll give us a choice of things, I hope. But that one is protected. Now, can we do this Qt way or can we do this C++ way? This is going to be interesting. Q open GL functions, please. That one. That should all do nicely. And let's go to the public part, which we can put here. Yeah, there's no semicolon after QObject, which is going to mess up Visual Studio no end. IntelliSense is going to go nuts. Absolutely brilliant, innit? And all we're going to do is we're just going to have a window 3D. That's it. Semicolon. That's all I want. We get some protected functions from OpenGL functions, luckily. So protected. We get void, initialize, GL, and that is an override. Happy so far? seems happy so far. Yeah. Void, it's picking up. Paint. GL. And that is an override. In other words, the function already exists within that class. That class has got virtual functions declared and defined with functionality, but we are allowed to add to the functionality that it gives by overriding them and putting in the bits that we want. That's one of the things about this. Is actually the most complex class we're going to do, because it has all the variabilities of Qt and C++ within just this one header file. If you ever want to learn all about C++ and Qt, understand everything about this header file, and you will have become an expert. If you don't understand it now, you're just going to have to trust me. I do apologise, because it's better for you to go to the manual and look all the way through there, and then come back and have a look at what I've done here. And have a look at, not that one, because that's one we're creating. That's ours. We are taking bits and pieces from that, and that. And that. Yeah. So all of these functions plus that we are taking things from. All of these belong to, oh sorry, my bad. That automatically gets a W for width and an int HEIGHT. I'm going to put it in. Sorry, I don't like it. So that is, it's a window, isn't it? So that's window. Let's name it properly. We can name it anything we want, it's an override. That's the whole point of an override. It's up to us, window height. There we go, and they come in as ints. And it's not going to let us do that. Oh, you are joking. Oh. Piddle. Okay. Oh, it will let us do that. It's me. I'm being an idiot. Right, that's the override class, isn't it? Yeah. So if I put window width, you're not going to go nuts now, are you? No, you're not. Window and height. No, you're definitely not going to go nuts. Oh, this is better. Oh, that is looking really good now. But have you noticed? No green squiggly. It won't do it for me, because there's no semicolon after that. It thinks it's an error, but it's being told by Qt it's not an error, so it hasn't got a clue what to do with it. Oh well, not to worry, because we know what to do with it. We'll just put window 3D in, like that. And it's window 3D. Like that, and that, colon. And it's Q, open. GL, oh, I don't like this bit, but window. And that's going to be Q, open. I'm doing this because it makes it all work better. If I do that. No partial update I'll have. Yeah, that'll do me. Okay, that's right. There you go. You've never come across this kind of thing before. Well, it's inheritance. It's all about inheritance. And we are going to have a Q OpenGL window. Isn't that ace? I'll just leave that empty for now because I haven't got a clue what we're going to need. Oh yes, I have. But it's going to be a few things, shall we say. Right, let's start working out what the few things are. So we can actually do that one, can we? Thank you. Very kind of you. And in here, all we want to do is initialize that one. And it's gone that. Lovely. All we need to do in there is initialize OpenGL functions. Yeah, that's okay. Right, that's that done. In PaintGL, I'm not going to do anything at the moment. Just going to leave that empty till I know what the heck I'm doing. Okay, and resize GL is our awkward one, isn't it? Yeah. I'm glad we've got two thingies here now. I will need some matrices, I believe. Hash include. And here we whoa. Remember MVP? A Q matrix 4x4. Right. As you may notice, our screens are not square. Yours might be, but mine certainly isn't. Mine's on like ultra wide or something stupid. God knows what. So if I put an object up that doesn't get rescaled with the aspect ratio, in other words, the view matrix, it's going to look a bit naff. Let's be honest. Why? Oh God, have I done something silly again here? Yes, I have. Thank you. So what we're going to have here is a Q matrix. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a view matrix. Or is it a project? MVP. No, it's a projection matrix, sorry. Oh, what am I talking about? We want the projection for the aspect ratio, don't we? Yeah, we do. So Q matrix 4x4. Gosh, I'm glad I know what I'm doing. So we will have a view matrix. Yeah, we'll have one of those. And we will probably do absolutely nothing with it because that's the camera. We could focus the camera on something, I suppose, if we wanted to place our object somewhere different, but I've already put a placement on it, I think. M_projection. We'll call it. Yeah. Okay. So now I can come back here. M_projection. And we're going to dot set to identity. That clears it. That's like setting an integer to 1. The number 1. So if you multiply M_projection, this matrix, by any other matrix now, you won't affect it. It'll be like times in by 1 with an integer. That's the best way to explain the identity matrix. It's the equivalent of an integer of 1. So once we've set it, what do we want to do with it? We want to create it, don't we? So M_projection dot, what can we do with it? Frustrum it, yeah, we could do that. Map normal operators. Perspective, look at that. we have the functionality within Qt to do the perspective. Isn't that cute? What does it want? Float vertical angle. So horizontal is across, vertical is up and down. About 60. 60 degrees should do it, I think. If things look a bit out of sync, just drop it down to 55. 55 is sometimes better. Float aspect ratio. Oh, God. Okay, then that's going to be float. Open brackets. Window. Width over height. Height over width. Width over height. So window. Width. Yeah. Over window height. I've got some notes here. I am actually going to check this, don't you worry. That's right. So we'll come back to you in a second. We'll check you first. What do we need next? The near plane. Now in meters, so I will have 10 centimeters. So 10 centimeters in front of the camera is the closest anything will render. So 0.10 f for that. That's 10 centimeters in my world. And the far plane, we'll set it to 100 meters just to be fine about that. That's a semicolon. Have I got my thingy the right way around? Matrices, calculations, resize is width over height. Width over height. Hey, I'm amazing, I got it right. Right, and that will store it where we need it. Resize GL is done for us automatically any time somebody uses this little ability down the bottom right hand corner of a window to resize it. That gets called automatically through the Q object. Cute, huh? And that's why I love Qt. And that's why I had to put the Q object in. So it can automatically use the functions like callbacks. I mean, in C++, what you would have to do is set up a callback system. If you want to know about callbacks, I have used them before using glfw for the functionality of the keyboard and mouse. So callbacks are there. But this Qt, you don't need to do any of that because your callbacks for your keyboard are here in front of us. It's actually part of the functionality of the window. So if I wanted, say, keyboard, I could have a keyboard input because I think one of these two has a keyboard input override or Q object. One way of finding out, isn't there? Let's just find out if I'm right. So it'd be void. What would it be? Have I got any notes on this? Anything at all? Yeah, I'm not sure whether we can do that or not. But it'd become under key. It's not coming up with anything. Hold on a minute. Before I do that, we've got squigglies going on. If there's squigglies going on, it doesn't like us for something. So let me just get rid of that. Right, no squigglies. I've got everything that I think. Actually, do I have everything that I think I need? No. What you would do apologise. What you would do is you would say something like hash include. You may as well learn about this whilst we're here. Q, and what is it in Qt? It's key event, isn't it? Key event. The thing is, the key event system, the key event system is actually part of Q window, I think. So it's an override. So what you would do is you would just put void We've put it in the protected area for certain, and it would be key press. Still not coming up with anything. Typical event. I know it's there, even if you don't. Thank you, Muppet. Don't do that. That's clause. Q key, and we're using that Q key event thingy from up there. Oh, it knows that's available, and we would take an event. In the manual it says start E, and I know it does, but I prefer event instead of start E, because that's what they mean. And it's an override because it's already there for us. And there you go. We can now make a key press event. So if let's do it by that one. There you go. There's one. Isn't that nice? There you go. So there's your key like there's a key press event. What I'm going to ask for here, let's see what key events we can have on my notes. Oh, well, that just gives me an example. Alright, I've just taken it straight out of the manual. So in the manual it'll just say if, and it's event. It's a pointer, that event, so it's an arrow. If the event key, yeah, we've got a function there, is equal to Qt has its own key system, so it's KEY underscore, do we have a space bar? S P space for the space bar, I guess. I think it isn't. No, just space will do. So if that's equal to that, what we're going to do? We shall tell our warehouse to show the next model. There you go. I don't know how to do that yet, so it's just an idea. I'm just trying to throw out ideas as we go, but that's the kind of thing that you could do for the spacebar. You could do ASWAD, A, S, W, and D, and move the camera around, but you would really need a camera class for that. I would advise you to make a camera class at that point. And yeah, isn't that nice and easy? I like this OpenGL window already. So there we go, that's saved out. That's saved out. Is there anything else I want to put in here? Well, yeah, there is a couple of things here. Initialize. So it's going to be GL enable. Just put a couple of things in here for you. enable GL depth buffer. Oh, that's a def button. GL depth test. That's the one. That's better. Anything else we want to do? Yeah, GL clear color. Clear color. Let's make that equal to something. What we got here? Red RGB alpha. I'm going to make it standard of 0.20F and 0.15F and 0.10F. So 20%, 15%, 10% on RGB. And 1.0.f for 100%, please. Thank you. I think of them as percentages, so the zeros aren't needed, but you know, it's just one of those things. So that would mean that in the PaintGL, it's no longer empty. We would have GL clear. Do I need to put buffer on this? No, it's just clear, isn't it? Bit field mask, that's right, yeah. So it's GL underscore color buffer bit, color buffer, that's the one. And we want to OR it, which for me is next to the Z, in between the Z and the Shift key in the bottom left hand corner of my keyboard. It's Shift backslash, and it comes with a straight down line. That is the logical OR, which means please OR these two numbers together, and that's why it's called a bit field mask, because you put them together and it makes a different number. But it tells OpenGL, it's basically a bunch of switches, and all we're doing is turning switches on and off. So we've just switched on the color buffer bit. Now we need to switch on the depth buffer. So GL depth buffer bit. That's the one. So switch that on because we did enable the depth test. So there will be a depth buffer, and what that does is clear it every time we, well, before we paint. So we clear the screen and we clear our depth calculating buffer. That just says how far things away are and relative to each other. How that works is really good actually, and really interesting. It's worth looking up. And then all we need to do is tell the warehouse to draw the current model. There we go. That's the only two things we need in there. We've got M projection. We haven't done anything with the other one, have we? Sure, I put 2 in. M view, that was it, wasn't it? So we've not done anything with M view. What I'm just going to do here is M underscore view dot set to identity on the initialization. This is in place of a camera class. To be honest with you, I'm just not going to do anything with it. I don't want to do anything with it. There's no point. I don't want to move the camera. I don't want to do anything with it at all. But I'm just letting you know that that's where from MVP you now have V and P. And if you remember rightly, what I've just done at the beginning was we've got M here. Well, we've actually got the MVP, haven't we? But it comes out of this here. Just wondering whether to set it here or set it in wherever. That's interesting. Where should we set it? Don't know. Think about that some other time. I do get sidetracked by these things. Control S. Okay, save all. I'm trying to get things to happen and they won't. Urgh. It urges me. Right, so we've got a very, very basic OpenGL. That is the most basic OpenGL I think we can do. Tell the warehouse to draw the current model with view with m underscore view and m underscore projection, isn't it? Because the window doesn't hold the model part. It will hold the projection part. It doesn't, and the camera would normally hold the view part. So projection is the window, view is the camera, and model is the model. Yeah. So projection, isn't it? That was doing that. Pro. Come on, get brain back in gear. Projection. There we go. Just as a reminder to me. Otherwise, I will forget. And now Control S. So that's our window. That's our 3D window. Not a complicated one, although I've added bits and pieces here which are cute. To show that that's working, what we can do is just put hash include, and it's qdebug and what I'm just going to do here is where I put tells in, I'm just going to put in q. Oh no, I'm not going to do it in that one. God, no. I'll do it for this one. Q debug, just to make sure things are actually working. Space bar has been pressed. And it also, that actually acts as a note to myself as well. And I've forgotten the rules of qdebug. Q debug, that's better. It's a small q at the beginning, and you get that. It does lots and lots of different things, qdebug, but that's one way of using it. I don't want to prove that that's working, do I? I'll put it in, actually. Why not? I mean, I want to make sure that everything's working now. So if we're doing it, we're doing the finals. I'm starting up the finals now, as you can see. qdebug, window, resize, triggered. Yeah, that'll do that. Okay. I don't want to put one in OpenGL because that can happen like 1,000 times a second, so forget it. I just want ones that might just off the chance happen. I mean, I can make happen. So here, for instance, I would put no, I'm not putting anything, so I think that's going to happen anyway, because we're going to make it happen. Do I have to call initialize GL? Yes, I do, because that then triggers resize and then a paint. When you call initialize GL for the very first time, it will go through and initialize everything, and then it will run resize GL, and then it will run paint GL automatically for you. So whatever are in these two are automatically then done. So that's all you have to call. You have to make the window and call the initializer. I usually put a separate initializer in, but today I'm not. I'm just going to keep it very, very simple, as simple as I can. So here, I'll put space and hash include. It will be window, no, source, window .h, and here I'm just going to put window. No, I'm not. Stupid me. I'm going to put model, window 3D, and I'm just going to call it window. because we can. And that's it. We haven't even given it a size, we haven't told it what to do with it. We've not done anything. We're just going to make a new window. And that's it. Next thing up is the model warehouse. So we will be going into the realms of the model warehouse next. Yeah, we can do window. Can we do window initialize? No, we can't yet. Got to do it in the right way around now. So it's initialize. So create. What is it? Model warehouse. Remember what I just said. It will run that resize GL and then it will run paint GL. At the moment that's fine, but as soon as we put the warehouse in, it won't be fine because there won't be one. So we can't initialize until after that has been created and after that has been initialized. So model warehouse has to create, and we'll just probably call it warehouse. Okay, then we will have to warehouse initialize. Got to do it in the right order, this part. If you don't, it will mess up. So it's a warehouse initialize. I'm just wondering if we can put a show in. I don't know actually. I think we can put window show here. I'll try it there anyway. It might have to come after. So after you've initialized everything there, we should then be able to put window, and that will just be initial. Well, will this work now? Because they've all been done before context. Huh. I don't know. We're going to find out though, aren't we? Initialize. Init. And I can't do initialize OpenGL. That's interesting. I've never found that before. But it looks like we can't, because it's an override. Protected. Right. Take that out. I'm thinking we have to create the warehouse before the window. But I want to pass the window into the warehouse. Okay. Okay. We'll do it slightly differently then. And what I'll do is, you can only call protected from within the class. So this show. And I think we'll initialize it here. No, because then we're drawing to a blank. We're drawing without the window being shown. This is what I'm having to be careful of. If you do that, it'll give an error. Initialize GL. There you go. We can put them there. Yeah. Can't have a second window. Well, we could, but it'd be a right mess of everything if we did. That's going to initialize everything. Warehouse. Well, it's going to be star, isn't it? It's going to be a new one. And that's going to equal a new model warehouse. And that's going to be with window. And that's the front door. So this is now building up to what we want to be doing next. That's the kind of thing that we want. I don't mind doing a new here because it automatically, all news get deleted here if it's in the same area. So we don't need to delete it afterwards. But I suppose we should do there after the A-exec, but it's not overly needed. Let's be honest. I'm happy with that, so that's all we should need to do. A-exec will take over, and our spacebar will show the next thing if we want to. Okay, and we can resize the window, of course, with aspect ratio, which will give the aspect ratio to the model as well. Cute. Very, very cute. I hope it will anyway, according to this lot. Right, that's window 3D completed, and we have next the model warehouse. We have to start delving into that next, I think. So next episode we'll delve into that. So take care in the meantime, and oh, by the way, don't forget to explore and have fun.